Okay, let's see. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Looks like that's working. Let me bring it in a little bit. That's too far. Right there. There we go. Good, good. Make sure it's pointed at my mouth. Yeah, that's good. Got to look out. There we go. 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 You know, audio is a thing. I was watching somebody's YouTube video last night, and welcome to the pre-show, by the way. And the thing is on. Yes, it is. I was watching somebody's live stream. Well, it wasn't a live stream. It was a YouTube video that they had recorded, a podcast, as it were. And they were talking about, they went off the subject of talking about the subject, which is what I tuned in for. And they started talking about cameras and microphones. My ears perked up. And I noticed when I first turned on the video, the YouTube, that their audio sounded not normal. How do you put it? I mean, I'm not an audio guy, but I listen, you listen, we all listen. We know what things sound like. And when they don't sound like that, it's like, short story. When they used to teach the US Treasury agents how to spot counterfeit dollar bills, because that's part of the Treasury's job, to spot counterfeit dollar bills. And so they would never show them a counterfeit. They would only show them the real thing, so that when a counterfeit came their way, they would say, that's not right. That's the way it was with me in the audio yesterday. The guy was talking about the audio, and he was using a boom mic, which is what I'm using now. And his audio just didn't sound good. It sounded processed. I don't know whether he had some compression on it or some sort of plug-in that he was using to treat the audio, but it just didn't sound good. It just had a weird tone to it. So anyway, it distracted me, and audio is important. Being able to live stream is important too, as we realized from 2 weeks ago when I forgot to push the live stream button. So yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. Let's see. Yeah, that was a little droplet. It was a windy day today, so I had to go outside. After coming in from outside, I had to go do my hair, as it were. Yeah, today we're going to talk about the BirdDog Play. So if you haven't seen one or used one today, you and I are in the same company. I've never seen one. I have the box, but I've never seen it. I mean, if you handed me one, I don't know that I would know what it was until I looked at the label. So this is going to be kind of exciting. And I've got a TV plugged in front of me that we will cast it to and see if it works. And we have a camera that'll point at the TV to see if it works. So yeah. So it's sort of an unboxing, but not really. Not really. We don't want to call it an unboxing because nobody wants an unboxing anymore, except those that do. There we go. Got to remember, if you're wearing a shirt or even a jacket and you're doing a kind of a talking head show like this, just reach behind you and grab your shirt tails or your coat tails and pull them down. And it really helps straighten out a majority of the wrinkles up here. Well, some of them anyway. Doesn't do anything about the dog hair, though. Come on. And the studio lights really pick that up and accentuate it. All right, so just a few more minutes here. I don't know if anybody's noticed that the Streaming Idiot show on YouTube, the category, can you tell what category we are under? Check on that sometime. You'll get a chuckle, which is why, of course, we put it in that category. I mean, there are all sorts of categories. There's politics and cooking and automotive and technology. And here's a clue: we are not in the technology category. Yep, because we're idiots. That's why. Yeah. I just got through talking to somebody this morning from Auburn, Alabama, and that was pretty cool. I grew up in Auburn, went to Auburn High School and Auburn University, among several secondary institutions I attended. But we just got a contract. I guess so far it's a verbal contract, but a verbal contract with Auburn University to supply their athletic department with 2 of our vMix replay systems. So that's going to be cool. It'll be fun to build those and send them up to the alma mater. The alma mater. There we go. Now we're looking perfect. Welcome, Carlos. Glad you are here. Unfortunately, there is a lag, a delay in the time you see me and the time I say something. I mean, between the time you see and hear me say something and the time I say it. I think that's about, let's see, there it is. It's about 15 seconds, 15, 16 seconds. At least that's what it is here, because I'm monitoring the stream on one monitor and I've got vMix desktop on the other monitor, and then I have a vMix full screen in front of me, which kind of helps me maintain eye contact with the camera. And that way I can make sure that I'm not, don't have anything untoward about me. So there's a little delay there between live and live. I mean, what is live? Live is never live. There's always delay in there. We just don't know it. Yep. So we've got in the Sinclair clan, we have an exciting event coming up in a couple of weeks. My grandson is doing his bar mitzvah down in Central Florida. So that's going to be fun. I'm not Jewish. My wife's not Jewish, but his mother is Jewish. So that's how it manages to work there. So let's see, we've got a call, and we'll have to tell him we'll call him back. Have a quick callback button for that purpose. It should be off and vibrate. There we go. Now it's on total mute. Welcome, Weather. Glad to have you. TJ. All right. That's cool. That's cool. Glad to know it. Glad to have you. And thanks to John, if you're watching, for the video. John did a video using his new PTZ Optics Move 4K camera in his church. He had a guest preacher come in, and they were moving and going all around, but the camera kept up with them just beautifully. We'll don't have that footage available today, but we'll try to play it next week. Thinking about, love to get your feedback on this. I'm thinking about doing a battle of the PTZ cams, or a PTZ shootout. And it would not be everything that is everything or anything, because I don't have all those cameras, but I've got quite a few different models of the PTZ Optics camera and the BirdDog cameras. Well, let's see how many different models I've got. I've got a 20X and a 12X of the Move 4K. I've got a P100. I've got a P120. I've got a P200 and a P240 and a P400. Do I still have the P200? I may have gotten rid of that one. So anyway, it'd be interesting. It's not always head to head with those, but it'd be really interesting. then it's NDI versus NDI-HX and 4K 60 versus 4K 30. So it's not all on the same level, but it'd be fun to sort of look at them and see strengths and weaknesses. Find 3 nice things to say about each camera and 3 things that I would improve on. How about that? We'll try to set that up for next week. If I can get enough camera connections, I can probably do that. In the post show last week, we were looking at my system and some of the issues that I was having with it in terms of whenever I turned on the recorder, it cut my bandwidth in half somehow. And so I was live streaming, and suddenly my live stream went down from 14 to 10. Hello, Dennis. Welcome, sir. And I tried to, I wanted to upgrade the graphics card, thinking maybe there was an issue with that. I've got a RTX 2080 Ti, which is, was the greatest at one point in its lifetime. And I also have a 3080 Ti just hanging around. I thought, well, let's put that guy in. Of course, he's a lot bigger. Takes up 3 of the PCIe spaces. It's just one slot, but 3 spaces on the back plate. And so I put that in and it just wouldn't boot. So I played around with it, tried different things, and finally pulled it back out and popped the 2080 Ti back in for the show today. So we'll see how it does. And I'll try that. It was a brand new card, so it may be a problem with the card. I'll put it in another PC and see if it has that problem in another PC. All right. Well, hello, Cruise Week TV. Glad to have you. Let's get this show on the road, shall we? And we'll hit the purple button on our mildly customized XKeys XK80. We'll hit the intro button. You ready? Here we go. All right. Glad to have you. Good to see you. I was watching the credits swing by here just a second ago, and I realized I'm looking at my camera and I'm like, did my camera shrink? Because generally the camera is exactly eye level, and this is going to be eye level with the camera right here. So I wonder if maybe it just didn't sink down on the tripod. I'll have to check that later. It's amazing the things, it's like squirrel. Yeah. The things you can get distracted by. So glad you're here today. Today we're going to talk about the BirdDog Play. Welcome, John. I was talking about you just a minute ago. Hello, BirdDog John. I don't know if you should hold your breath or not. We're going to see, because I have had this Play sitting on my desk for a while, and it is unopened. And I don't know if you can see, but there's these cool little open strips right here. So you don't even need to have a penknife. So let's open it with, and I've got a TV set up. So, well, that one didn't work very well. Let's try the other one. Can we do this in a way that you can see it too? Nope. Oh, well. It was a good effort. Let's try the penknife. It's actually just a razor knife. Oh, wait, it's got another strip on the other end of it. We'll peel that one up and try that one. Nope, didn't get there on that one either. So this is my favorite knife. It's just an inexpensive razor knife. But I've had it 7 or 8 years. Got it for Christmas. It was my favorite Christmas present that year. All right, so let's get all these guys to the side and see if we can get this guy out. There we go. So you guys are getting the full BirdDog experience. Whoops. First thing is something drops out of the box. And it is an advertisement for Dyno, which is the analysis software, performance software. It's free. And then next is, turn it so the dog is right side up, what appears to be a device. And then some other stuff, including a very cool BirdDog sticker, which of course you can't see what color it is because it's green. And then a it's a USB cable. Are there any directions? There's a little thing in the bottom. Let's see if we can get that out. Maybe the directions are under that. Welcome, Gunner. Well, I can't get the little insert out of the bottom, so there's probably no directions there. So here it is. And on the back, it says Rev 4. And then it's got a little QR code and something else. So let's see what the QR code brings us. Maybe we'll get lucky. And the QR code will tell us something that we need to know. Aha, it's a web address. It's probably its MAC address, because or it may be its serial number. That's probably what it is. It's a serial number. Okay, so cameras have no use for that. All right. So we've got some interesting things here. We've got a little panel here. Let's see if we can get the light right. Yeah, there we go. And that looks like an off-on button. And then that looks like it could be like a power light or something. Then there's a little pinhole right there, probably a reset. Product manufacturers hate when I do this because I don't read the directions. All right, and then on this side, we've got USB and a hole, which looks like it could be for audio. We'll see. And then on the back, we've got HDMI, that's probably out. And then USB-C and RJ45. Now, I'm going to be using a PoE Ethernet cable with this. So we will have to see if that powers it, or if we have to do a USB to USB-C in order to power it, because we got the cable for that. I bet this is just in case. Of course, that fits my phone too, so I can hang on to it. And it's a flat cable. That's kind of interesting. It's not a coil cable, it's a flat cable. So it could, coil up more easily. Okay, so enough of that. Let's take this and let me get a camera pointed in a different direction. See, I had the camera set up right here, and then I never used it. So we could have had all this stuff right here for y'all to see. Oh, well. All right. So let's redirect that camera to the man behind the curtain. And we'll see how it does. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we're going to take that camera and we're going to go here with it. We're going to take off the full screen. And what do we want to put on it? Well, we want to put this device on it when we get it set up. So we're going to take it off the full screen for a minute. Okay. All right. so I'm going to speak up so you can hear me, but we've got Ethernet 4K PoE right here. We're going to plug in, and HDMI right here. We're going to plug in. I'll just leave them out here so we can see. We get a light of any kind or any kind of activity there to tell us anything happened. Oh, there's an on-off switch. Let's see if we can turn it on. That's the switch moved. Don't see a light. Don't see anything happening there. Don't see anything happening there. Oh, you know what? I bet this cable's not hooked up to anything. Let's get that guy out of there. Do we have another cable we can use? The key to a studio, especially when you're doing NDI, is to have lots of extra cables around. All right, so let's try again. And see if we get any lights here. Or if we need to turn it on. Maybe that turned it on. Don't see lights yet. Unlike other devices, there's only one RJ45, so you got to get that right. All right, well, let's try USB. Excuse me. We've got a USB hub right here that we can probably steal some power from. We'll take our little cord and plug it in there. Make sure there are no changes back here. No. So we'll go USB-C. And, oh, let's just plug it into the back of the TV. What the heck? Because that's the way we would normally deploy it. So, okay, plugged into the back of the TV. Saw a light come on inside. Yeah. Oh, there's a little teeny light right there. Can you see that little teeny light? It's a teeny little green light. But we're not getting any Ethernet activity back here. So let's turn it on again. See if that did anything. Try one more time. We may have to go read the directions. I know John is just busting a gut at this point thinking, Tom, you're making us look bad. All right, we're just going to let that hang there for a second. And we'll come back here and see if we get, all right, there, I can see the chat. John says USB-C is power, no PoE on the play. Okay. All right. So we'll give that a second to cook. And meanwhile, let's see. How would we need to get to that device somehow. We need to get to that device. So what would we use to get to that device? Can't use Studio Monitor because that's not sending a signal. We need some sort of ability to give it a destination. Let's see. Let's turn on desktop capture here so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. And I'm just going to come down here and look through my NDI tools and see if I can find an NDI tool that might let me do that. There's remote connection manager, router, screen capture, studio monitor, desk patterns. Let's see if anything shows up on the access manager. Groups, external sources, advanced. Yeah, let's forget about that. Let's try, all right. John says the IP should appear on the monitor you're plugged into. Okay. Then we need to switch that over to the right source. Let's try again. Source. How about input? Come on. Menu guide, exit menu, source. There we go. This is HDMI 4. Nope. Let's try again. Source. There we are. HDMI 4. And let's see what it says. You can watch too. Says no signal. Well, that's not good. Let's make sure we've got it plugged into HDMI 4. Nope. We have it plugged into HDMI 3. So that's not going to work. Let's try the source thing again. HDMI 3. And we'll try again. There we go. There's a little BirdDog logo. And the IP address 192.168.1.73. So let's just put that in the browser, shall we? Can we pull a browser page in here? And looks like everything's frozen. Let's go back to this for just a second. My desktop capture froze. So let's get a new one. Shall we? 1 second. Desktop capture shouldn't ever freeze. That's just bad. Okay, so we'll pull this window in. And let's put in our address. This is all live, folks. This is with no training or coaching other than John telling me to look on the TV for the IP address. Okay, there we go. So let's sign in. Look at this. We're in business. And the sign in is, don't tell anybody, but I think it's BirdDog. Save that password? Absolutely. Okay, so we're at the dashboard. This looks like the dashboard of all the other products. How cool is that? So we got dashboard, network, and it's at DHCP. That's how we could just get a network address quickly. And then system allows us to do passwords, system update, reboot, et cetera, et cetera. And then AV setup. And the OSD is the on-screen display is enabled. If we disable it, does it go off? Oh yeah, and then we have to do a device restart. All right, so let's don't do that. NDI decode source. Well, that's what we want to send out to that. So let's send, what shall we send out? Let's send my camera. Can we send my camera? And we don't need to refresh or reset. Let's just apply. And you want to know what the screen looks like, I bet. And there's the screen. Look at that. It's me. In fact, it's got pretty good latency. Not a bad picture either. Look at that. Now this is coming, this camera straight to the BirdDog Play and straight to the TV. And you can see, I can see that it's got just a smidgen of latency compared to live. In fact, probably less latency than this camera has. We'll see. How about that? All right, so let's go back to the capture. There we go. There's the capture, and then let's go back to the BirdDog, and we're going to enable. Let's see, what can we do here? Yeah, let's go. Let's do it like that. That way you can see what's on the screen already. I didn't want to do that. How did that get that way? There we go. Okay. I'll come over this way so you can see me. All right, so we're going to change the source, and we'll change the source to the BirdDog P120, which is pointed at the TV. So we want to apply, boom, 3, 2, 1, and there we go. Let's see, let's move it out of the way for a second. And it's just the TV in infinity because it's looking at itself, looking at itself, looking at itself, looking at itself. And if we move that camera, let's see, let's move that camera real quickly here. PTZ. It's going to move into infinity behind it. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, is that cool? Oh my gosh. And how long has it taken us to figure this out? That's the shot. That's the camera shot showing the TV showing itself, showing itself, showing itself. And it's taking us maybe 12, 13 minutes. Yeah. Wow, that is cool. All right, let's go back to the interface for a second. This is just the web interface. Drag it right up here. Oh, let's do that so you can see the web interface here. So here it is. And we're going to pick out, all of these are just NDI sources. So we've got our outputs from vMix. That's 4 different outputs. And we've got these 2 cams. And let's go back into vMix for a second. We're going to go to settings and let's enable some more. We've got all these NDIs on. Cameras, calls, audio inputs. Let's turn that on. And this is got to be, that's input 91, input 100, and input 101. Let's do input 17, because that's the pre-show input. And then we're going to do input 18. And basically, these are going to go out as NDI sources so that we can pick them up on the BirdDog Play. Okay, we're not going to worry about 100 for right now. Let's just close that. Oh, it wants to restart. Oh, no. Well, let's just see if we can do it without restarting. Can we do it? All right, let's pull it back up, the interface, and we're going to refresh the sources. We'll give it a second to refresh. Now we'll check again, and let's see if we can get something different on the screen, like whatever number 17 is. And there it is, even though it didn't refresh in vMix. There it is. Let's try input 3, or excuse me, output 3, and apply. That's going to be a post show. There it goes. All right. Now, what about audio? Ah, it's muted right there. If I turn it on, we're going to get all sorts of feedback. Look, but let's just turn it on for just a second. Check. Okay, we didn't even have to apply it. We turned it on and boom, it was on, and then boom, it was off. So this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. All right, so you guys can see, yeah, you can see what's on the BirdDog right here. And we can change the source again to let's change it back to my cam for a second, and let's see how long it takes to change it over. So ready, set, go. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, and there we go. 5 seconds is what it took to change over. And we've got a fallover source. Look at that. You can set up any of your other NDI inputs as a failover source. So we'll set output 1 as our failover source. We'll apply that, and nothing will change because it didn't fail. This is what output 1 looks like right here, which should be just everything that you're seeing at home. Boom. Yeah, so that's what you're seeing, and that's what's showing up now on the TV with the BirdDog Play. So let's go back here to, we'll go back to the desktop cam, the P120. And that's showing the TV. And so it's just going to show itself going off into infinity again. Yeah, we've seen that. All right. And if we did none, let's see if what happens if we do none. Decode source is none. We'll apply that. And I think we'll just get a BirdDog logo that will stay there with, you notice the IP address up in the top left-hand corner. So that's pretty cool. So, yeah, let's go back to me. let's go back to me. There we go. I feel better like that. This is pretty cool. So this is 130 bucks, 129.99 or 95 or whatever it is. And it will turn your TV in the lobby into a signboard, or at the change of a, well, let's see if we can do this. Can we change it from my phone? Let's try. So we'll go to my phone, go to Chrome. We'll add a new tab, and we're going to put in the IP address, 192.168. And I'm on the same network as the studio here right now. You'd have to be in the same network as your church Wi-Fi. So we'll do that. And there it is. And then let's see, do we have to log in somewhere? Log in. Yeah, we'll log in. So we'll put in our password, BIRDDOG, all lowercase. And we're waiting. And there we go. And let's do a picture-in-picture for just a second. That's number 8. So let's do a number 8. One sec. Here we go. That's it. Okay, so this is the camera. Where is it? Right there. There we go. So that's what you can see, the TV in the background. So let's change the source. So CPU, network bandwidth, status, stream info, stream details, device restart, system reboot. Let's go to AV setup. And let's go to NDI decode source. And let's change the source to my desktop camera, to this camera right here. Ready? We'll change it there, and then we'll say apply. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. Boom, there we go. And I did that from the phone. And I can turn the audio off and on. Audio on. Check. Is the audio working? Audio is not working. Oh, because the camera doesn't have any audio. All right, let's turn the audio off. And then we'll go to our output of vMix, which does have audio associated with it. And we'll change that. 3, 2, 1, boom, there it goes. All right, and that's just going to be this screen again. And we'll turn the audio on just for a second to make sure it works. Check, check, check. That was enough. That's all we needed to know. Hello, Rick. Hello, Kenny. Sorry, somehow, Kenny, your message got retracted. Kenny says, hi, Tom. I think the device will show. Whoops. Oh, and your message got retracted again. You must have said a bad word in there somehow. Rick says he's pleased with his. And yeah, I don't see a little I don't see a way, Kenny, to see all the screens at this point. At least not a visual image of it. Let's put it that way. All right, your message stayed this time, at least for a second. Let's go back to the dashboard and look on the dashboard. And maybe it doesn't show up on a phone. Let's see. Status, stream info, system details, device restart, system reboot. No, I don't see. I don't see it. I don't see it. That's okay. That's okay. I mean, if you know what your sources are, you know what your sources are, and I can learn something for Kenny's too. All right, let's see. So John says, no, the decode list is the only way to find sources on the latest firmware. Well, how do I find out what firmware I have? Let's see. Do we think we might be able to find a way to, I think we're having that little stream problem again. Let's see. What is our performance here in Ethernet? We're sending half a gig. We're sending because we're sending to the screen. All right, well, let's turn that off for just a second. How do we turn that off? Back to the dashboard, we'll go. And network, how about we'll go to system. Can we turn it off from system? So we can reboot it. Doesn't look like we can turn it off. And it's using a ton of bandwidth because it's a 4K signal. Yeah, sorry, I should show you guys what I'm doing. Let's go here. And you can see I'm getting a stream flash to indicate that there's a network issue. And it's just, it's saturating my network. Here I'm sending half a gig, which means that I may not have enough room to send my signal to YouTube. Well, let's see. I'm receiving 170, and that's going to be from my NDI HX camera at 4K, and then a NDI camera at HD. All right, let's see. Let's go back and see. You can see the GPU is pretty close to maxed out there. And Ethernet is not happy. But let's go back to the BirdDog for a second and see if we can turn it off. We can restart it. We can, let's see, let's go to System. And we can change the password. We can reboot it. We can update it. We can use Access Manager configuration. Let's go to Network and see. These are our addresses. Failback address. Discovery servers off. So yeah, it doesn't look like you can turn this guy off. Device restart, system reboot. So if we restarted it, let's see what it does to the video right there. So we'll just do a restart on it. The screen goes blank and then goes green. Boy, that restart was pretty fast. So it didn't help. Here's the video resolution. Can we change? No, we can't. Well, let's see if we can change the resolution of output number 2. Is that an option? Outputs. Output 17. No, can't change the resolution of those outputs. Let's turn off that one and turn off that one. And we'll go okay, but don't restart. And let's see if that helped here. No, didn't help here at all. You could see that dip that just went by right there was when we restarted it. But we are sending this HD signal to the TV. And yeah, and it's taking a lot of bandwidth. Okay. So unless I go and unplug it, or I could give it a source that didn't have as high of a bit rate associated with it. Let's see if we got something here under AV setup that we can send to it. The source could be, well, the PTZ Optics camera should be NDI-HX. So let's see what that does. Oh yeah, look at the send right here. Dropped way down, way down. So this is NDI-HX at 4K, HX2 actually, plus the live stream I'm sending to you, and I am live streaming from this computer at 14 megs. So the other 2.5 megs is the camera that's going strictly from the PC over the Ethernet to the TV. All right, well, I've got a 1080p full NDI camera. Let's make that our source and see how that looks. So the source is going to be the P120. And we will apply it, and then we will see how it affects. Not a great effect. So the P120 is sending at 2.5. And that should be 1080p 60, I think. Let's see if we can get into that camera and check. This is just kind of a live workshop here today. PTZ is .87 is the address. Okay. So let's bring up another window here. 192. Whoops. .87. There we go. And let's log in. Looks like I already had that one in memory. And it's at 1080, 2997. All right. And you're also allowed, let's see if it's in AV setup. Yeah, to adjust the bandwidth, which I'm not doing right now. I'm not manually adjusting it. I'm letting NDI adjust it. And then here, there is no bandwidth adjustment. And here we can see that this camera, not that camera, but the image that camera is shooting has very low effect on the network right here. Now I'm receiving, how about that? I'm receiving the main cam, which is 4K 60, and I'm also receiving the second cam, which is 1080p 30, let's just say for rough numbers, and that gives us this. But when I start sending 4K 60 to the TV is when it blows up. So let's change the source here. We're going to go back to output 1, and that's going to show us a big jump here. Should be in just a second when that changes. Did we do it right? Yep, let's go check again. Output 1, apply. Oh, that is my output. No, that's not the output. The output is this. Apply. It's not applying it. All right, so do we have, yeah, that camera is still active, but it is not it's not this screen. It should show all of this in there right now, according to this app. Let's go back to the app, and oh, I keep changing the failover source. My bad. All right, let's try this one again. Apply. So now the PC is sending over the network 500 megs to the TV. That's interesting. That's interesting. Yep, John said, you're an idiot. Change the failover decode, change the NDI decode, not the failover. Okay. So sending the vMix output, which is 4K 60, not NDI-HX, but NDI, full NDI, is a half gig. Well, maybe not a full half gig, but 495 megs. Interesting, interesting. All right. I think, I'm looking at John's comment, it says this can't be right because full NDI will be 120 plus megabits. And we've got 537 megabits, which is fluctuating a little bit. And keep in mind that that number, that 500 number right in here, is what's being sent from the PC to the network. Part of that is going on the live stream to YouTube. about 14 megabits. And apparently another 500 of it is going to the TV for 4K 60. Interesting. Interesting. Now, if I use a different output source in vMix, let's go back and change to a different output source in vMix. And let's go to the, let's go to output 2. It shouldn't matter because output 2, let's apply that. There we go. Output 2 is still an output from vMix at whatever vMix is sending for its NDI. So this, depending on your network and what else is going on, may or may not be workable at 4K. And we're kind of stuck now because that's the resolution that we're using. And so anything coming out of vMix is going to come out at 500 plus. But anything coming directly from the source, like the camera, is going to be less. And so, again, let's go in and change the source. We'll change the source here to the 4K camera, and we'll see how we change here. You can watch it change right there. There we go. And so now, actually, we don't know what it is because this is just what vMix is sending out to the network right now. We don't have a way to know what kind of bandwidth is being used. Well, we do. Dashboard should tell us. Let's see. Network bandwidth, 7%. So there, yep. John is saying there was an old issue where the source was being taken twice to the play. I think it was firmware 08. It was fixed in the latest firmware, which I can get you. And let's see do we know what firmware we have? Oh, it's not on that page. Maybe it was back on the dashboard page. System details. No, firmware is 1.0.8, which is the firmware that John said we may be having an issue with. Okay, so we need to get a firmware update. So, but the beauty of all this is that this is the kind of experience that an average everyday user is going to have. As they take it out of the box, they attempt to make it work. They're an idiot like me. They don't read the directions. They think it's PoE plus or just PoE, and it's not. It requires a separate power source. It requires a USB to USB-C, which most TVs have, so that's not a big deal. And right now, we don't really know how much bandwidth it's using because we're going straight from this camera to the TV. And you can see there are a few little artifacts every now and then, or at least I'm seeing them. I'll raise my hand the next time I see one. So we don't know what the exact bandwidth. We've got an estimate that it's about 7%, and that's in the BirdDog app for the Play, the web UI, and that's good. I mean, it's good to have at least some idea. Let's go back to the BirdDog app first. Let's go back to this for a second, and we'll bring up the BirdDog app. And yeah, we see network bandwidth. Let's go back and change this to the vMix output, and then see what the bandwidth changes here on the dashboard. So we've got it changing here, and it's going to the vMix output. And now it's saying it's using 24% of the network bandwidth. We've got a gigabit, and so if it's doubling it and using 48%, that would be about right. So we need to get an update. Let's see, can we get an update right here? Can we just go to BirdDog? Oops. Yeah, that's right, birddog.tv. And we'll go to support, downloads, cameras convert. I guess this is a converter. Something that looks like a play. There we go. And we want to get the firmware update. And this is 14. So that's a big difference between us and 8. We'll accept the cookies. Are we getting this one? Did we get it? Oh, yeah. Oh, we got it twice. Okay. Well, never mind then. Cancel that one. And we'll take this one. There we go. So let's show in folder. You guys are going to see how we get to update this. So let's get a folder going here with downloads. And we will extract it all. And we don't have the Mac. So there's the firmware right there. There are the update instructions. Yeah, that looks really simple. Okay, let's go back here. We'll go back to the BirdDog, back to System, and System Update. Let's choose a file. So we'll navigate to our download subdirectory, to the BirdDog Play, and the one that says .firmware. Sure, why not? We'll upload it. And there we go. Waiting for the updated service, connecting to an update service, processing update package, extracting. So, John, thank you for tuning in. Now, had I been a regular guy, eventually I might have stumbled over that, or I might have said, BirdDog, I may have sent to BirdDog a support request, or I may have just thought BirdDog is a hog, but it probably would be a good idea to have on the instructions. Well, here it is. It says unlock the latest features by updating the firmware. Well, there it is right there. Can't really see me, but yeah, it's there. Okay. It says, congratulations, your firmware is now updated and your device is rebooting. After a reboot, you can simply refresh the browser window and log back on. Well, this is the browser window. So we're going to refresh it. And log back on. Okay, we are there. So I've got a network speed of a gig. There, it's got right there. And I've got firmware version BirdDog Play 1.0.14. So let's go to AV setup. Take that guy and get him out of the way. Take that guy and get him out of the way. Take that guy and get him out of the way. There we go. We don't need that. All right, so now we need to get a decode source. And let's do the vMix output because that's the one we were having the issues with. And let's apply it. And let's look down here and we'll see, we're still getting half a gig as the output. Maybe after I reboot, it'll make a difference. Can't do that while we're live streaming. But I'll put a note in the description for this YouTube video as to what it will do. John says this show will be watched by the the DEV team to see someone use their product. You can count on that. Yeah, that's right. And they'll all be going, he's such an idiot. God, anybody would know better than to do that. Click the decode box, not the failover box, you idiot. Okay, well, I'll try it again after the show. And we'll, let's go back here. There we go. And we'll go and see how we do. I'm going to change the source here to the PTC Optics camera. How about that for just mixing stuff? So we'll go to the PTC Optics camera. And that's what the camera sees right there. And, oh, that's what the camera sees right there. So it's me. Yeah, good. All right. All right, this is cool. All right, well, let's, we've gone over time. Yeah, so we're not going to do a post show today. This is kind of the post show, but all right. So what we've done is we've taken a BirdDog Play, took it out of the box. We found that the nice little tabs on the box were pretty useless. I had to use my razor knife. It was a good try, but it didn't work. There was I'm 67, and that type is really small to me. It would be nice to have something a little bigger. Even if it folded over, I wouldn't be offended. It was nice to have info about the dyno. I might have looked at that to diagnose what was going on with the doubling. And maybe the doubling will be cured when I reboot and reboot everything, including the Play. And yeah, and there was a really cool decal in the box, which is still green. Actually, you can see it up there. Oops, up there. You can see it up there. There we go. There we go. You can see how green it is up there because it's not keyed out. It came with a nice USB cable, plenty long, a flat cable. I kind of like that because it's easy to bend and get around walls and such. That allows you to power the unit. It plugs into to my network, and then it had HDMI that plugged into my TV. The setup was really simple. The trick was having the TV on the right HDMI channel so that I could pick up the IP address of the BirdDog. That was the key. And that was an idiot thing on my part. So once we got that, we knew to put that in. We knew to put that in to a web browser, Google Chrome in my case, so that we could gain access to the BirdDog web interface. And there we go. Yeah. And then after that, it was just having fun. And then we were able, and we did a firmware update live, just like any idiot would do. And we'll find out after that just what's going on once we reboot. So I'm going to go do that, and I have to close out the stream to do that. So give me some feedback, if you will, about the great PTZ shootout. We'll probably do that sometime in March. And I've got some interesting guests lined up, so that'll be fun too. So thanks for tuning in. John, thank you for tuning in and saving my cookies. And we will see you guys. We'll see you next week. How about that? Hitting the purple button.